Good morning everyone, thanks for joining me again. I'm doing a bit of exploration this morning, just seeing if I can find any interesting compositions, specifically maybe some more abstract stuff. Also looking for some lichens and flowers like always. I'm mostly going to be shooting, I think, with my macro lens today. We had some rain recently, like you probably heard in one of the previous videos, and the Karoo is looking really great, so I'm hoping to find some interesting stuff for you today. Thanks for joining me on my little expedition. Let's see what we can find. This is really interesting. This is a lichen I haven't seen before. First of all, the color, all the lichens around here have very subdued light green or almost whitish colors, and this one is a far darker, almost olive green. So I'm not sure what species this is. I'll see if I can find out. If I do find out, I'll give it to you up in the corner of the screen. But yes, let's see. I'm gonna probably have to photo stack, definitely have to photo stack. I'm using a 150mm Sigma macro lens here, so probably end up with about 10 to 15 images, I would guess. So let's take it and see if there's enough light. It's still relatively dark, the sun is not up yet. Not really much of a composition yet to be found. You can maybe try and use that crack on the right hand side, but I think I'm recording this more for the sake of the special lichen than trying to make an artistic landscape photo out of it. This lichen is the one that I normally see around here, but this particular specimen is quite nice. I really like the fact that it's the larger colony, or the larger organism, and then right next to it, top left hand corner, there's a smaller one. And also right in the middle there's some interesting holes or dark patches in the structure. So I think this is worthwhile just taking a few photos and stacking it as well, specifically some very detailed cropped shots I think could actually work here. This is actually quite interesting. It looks like a piece of lichen as well, I suppose, but it's not growing on a rock as per usual. It's actually growing right on the ground. Now, I've seen one of these before while wandering around these hills and mountains, but this is actually the first time it was in a position where I can actually take a photo of it. I think what I like is the nice contrast between the almost reddish and white colors of the lichen, and then that very dark little rock on the bottom right hand corner gives it some nice contrast. Again, I'm going to have to stack quite a few images, specifically if I also want the background in focus. So I think this will be at least 25 plus images. But let me take the photo before I get direct sunlight on it. That'll make the contrast too high. Now look at this amazing thing that I've actually found here. If you look carefully, you will see it's like a slight indent in the rock, and it's got fine little lines that are arranged around the hole in the circle well, basically in a circle around the hole. You can see them in focus now, bottom right hand, and then down into the hole, and then the other side. Now what this is actually a creature that lived on the bottom of the lake, the inland lake in this part of the world millions of years ago. It's called the Zoophycos. Well, I hope my pronunciation is right, but I've seen these marks on the rocks a few times in the past, and I had no idea what it was. So the other day I went for a walk with my friend Gideon, who's a geologist, and he showed me this, and yeah, I have definitely learned something. Apparently these creatures lived in a tube in the mud, and then they would come out and forage around their hole, and that causes these lines. It's very fine lines in the mud, and then of course millions of years later it's now still there in the rock, and there are lots and lots of them around now. They're all a bit chipped up and pieces are missing. We've got lichens growing on this, but if you look carefully you will actually see the structure or the lines. What I'm going to try and do with this is I'm going to take probably 25 plus photos, stack them, and then see if I can create a 3D model, rotating 3D model, so that we can actually maybe bring out the height differences in the lines out a bit. Hopefully that'll work. Well, if it does work, you will see it just now. Another one, also a very nice sample of the Zoophycos, almost a round circle. The top end is missing, but what you can see in the middle of the image, you can very distinctly see the lines caused in the mud by this creature foraging for food. So I'm going to try this one as well. We'll see which one of the two works the best. Look at this, actually quite an interesting miniature rock formation, and the rocks sticking out of the ground almost vertically with a bit of lichen on them, and I've got a bit of soft light coming from the right hand side. So I'm doing a landscape shot, even though I have a macro lens on, because that's all that I have with me. I didn't bring my full bag. I just went for a quick stroll this morning, but I think this could be a usable image. Let's see if I stack it, if I can get something out of it that is worthwhile showing you. What I really like about this composition is the diagonal line that the stones form from bottom right towards top left. I think that is actually quite interesting. Even though it's all in miniature, I think it actually is a worthwhile landscape. It just shows that you need to look down sometimes as well, and not just look for those wide vistas, because some days they're not there. beautiful rock with all the lichen, or the lichen growth on it, I should say. Nice contrast, light rock, darker background. Just to the top left there's a bush with tiny little seeds on it. But what I like is the side light, specifically early morning side light on it, which gives nice contrast, bit of depth of field to the lichen on the rock. So again, I'm going to stack this, and I will most likely try it as a 3D as well, or at least portion of it. If you have a complete object on a background that's quite far away, 3D doesn't work that well because the edges aren't that nice. But if the object fills the complete frame, then the 3D really works. So I might end up cropping this a bit and then making a 3D out of that. Let's see how it works out. Unfortunately, the sun just came out behind a cloud, so now the contrast might be too high, but I'll still give it a shot. I did capture a few images, but yes, the light's now very harsh, unfortunately. But I know where this rock is. If it doesn't work out, I can always come back in the not so far away future. Well, I think that's it for today, everyone. The sun has just gone behind a cloud, and it could almost be a real landscape shoot situation. I'll have a look, but I think as far as the macro work is concerned, I found a few interesting subjects. I hope those images worked out, especially the 3D images that I was hoping to, or I am hoping to create using those stacks. If they did work out, you would have seen them by now. Also, thanks to my friend Gideon for pointing out those marks in the rocks to me and explaining what they were. I really learned a lot, and I think I need to tap into his knowledge more in the future, so you might hear more references to him in some of my future videos. Thanks for joining me. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. If you click the bell next to the subscribe button, you will be notified of any new videos that I release. If you're interested in any of my work, or you want to contact me or purchase some prints or something, please have a look in the description below. I will have links there to places where you can look at my work, where you can purchase my work, and my email address is also there if you want to contact me. Otherwise, just leave a comment down below. Thanks for joining me today. Have a great day. Stay safe, stay happy. Till next time. Cheerio.